Hey guys, okay, so I'm doing a 2 mile virtual race, which you guys will see in another video because if I learned anything in 2024, it's that when I find content that could be posted in either its own video or multiple videos, I need to do that because sometimes you just need a break because the world is literally on fire or it's a dumpster fire, all the above. But I just want to give my 2 cents about this whole DEI plane crash thing. And plane crash slash, ramblings from people about, oh, it's this or it's that or it's this person was this. Okay, listen. First of all, hi, if you're new here. My name is Emily. I am 27, soon to be 28 years old. And I have spastic diplegia cerebral palsy, which means that I had brain damage in a part of my brain that deals with making my legs work. My legs do work. I'm not paralyzed, but my legs are weak. My legs are tight at the same time. If you've been following me over the past few months, I've developed this thing where they give out on me like only in the morning. It's weird. But I actually do see my doctor in 11 days on February 11th. Today's February 1st, so I see him in like 10 days-ish, and we'll talk about that, which that'll be a whole other video too, if I choose to talk about it. So I'm not new to the whole, disability thing, but what I'm new to navigating it as an adult. I would say it's been like 9 years, 10 years, I don't know, because let me tell you, it's almost like a culture shock going from public school where you have like birth to 3 for little kids, and then you have IEPs, and you have therapists and psychologists and blah, blah, all this testing and supports and IEPs and blah blah blah, to like the real world where, when I tried to go to college, they're like, oh, we don't do paras and we don't do, bathroom stuff and blah blah blah. Anyway, so listen, I'm learning that DEI is not like, and again, I'm not educated in all the politics because honestly, one, it gives me anxiety. Two, I don't want to sound like I'm ignorant and I don't know what I'm talking about. And 3, it's just a lot. There's layers, and then this thing is woven over here. And I'm just like, do we forget that people are actually people, okay? And not just like their condition or what they identify as or this or that or blah, blah, blah. Okay, so I'm learning that DEI is like diversity. And I didn't know diversity, like, I thought, like, I didn't know just being who you are made you diverse, but okay. Apparently it's like mothers, expectant mothers, queer, LGBTQIA, disabled, African American, indigenous, like all of that, okay? So literally, this is why I didn't comment on this, because I still don't know what's true. Maybe somebody can educate me. So I don't sound ignorant, because that is the last thing I want to sound, is ignorant, because there's already enough ignorant sounding people in the world, and I don't want to add to that, nor do I want to be known as that, okay? Like, I like, this is my space on the internet where I'm just trying to navigate life as a disabled person. Anyways, so apparently, I guess the, pilot of the Philadelphia, or no, I'm sorry, the DC plane crash, the one with the figure skaters and stuff, that person was disabled, allegedly, I guess. I don't know what the disability is, because you don't have to disclose your disability, which not a lot of people know, but you don't have to. I mean, there's certain, like, I just disclose it because mine's more visible, I guess. And, you could read the anxiety off of my face, so I guess, whatever, but, like, you don't have to disclose it. There are certain areas, like, maybe with an employer, if you needed certain accommodations that, that you might disclose it, but you don't have to, okay? And probably for this person's privacy, maybe they're not, I don't know. But then I heard, that they weren't, so then, this is the other conflicting story. Then I heard that they weren't disabled and that they were under the DEI, which is like diversity and whatever, because they were gay, which, again, I have no problem with gay people. I've said this over and over and over again the last couple of months because, it's important to say where we stand. And again, like I always say, you're welcome on my channel no matter who you are. Hold on. Sorry, my watch said it was losing connection with my app, and I was like, no, that cannot happen. I need to know what I'm doing. But anyways, you're welcome on my channel, whoever you are. Anyways, but I'm like, okay, so being gay has nothing to do with a plane crash. Like, that does not mean that you crash a plane, okay? And again, I'm not going to speak to anything about the disability versus anything because I don't know anything. But what I wanted to say, because I don't know if it's obvious because, whatever. But you're not going to hire me to put stuff on a top shelf because I'm like 4 foot tall, okay? And so there is such a thing called accommodations. And it's like reasonable accommodations. I don't know what people's definition of reasonable is because I've never had the luxury of getting a job, okay? And I say luxury because I've never had the luxury of being 16 and going down to the Dunkin' Donuts to, get my first job or what. I've never even had the luxury of having a job, okay? YouTube is my only job, and I make very little money, like just enough money to buy Dunkin' Donuts coffee, which honestly, it's not even about the money. I'm just saying, like, I've never had the luxury of getting like a real job or whatever. Anyways, but, like, you're not gonna, and then, like, also, again, I'll disclose another disability. I have a very hard time with math, with reading, with just, really, I'm a very auditory and visual person. No wonder why I like YouTube so much, but, like, you're not gonna hire me to be a cash register at Target or Walmart or the Dollar Tree or wherever because I can't do math and make change, okay? Like, but again, that's me disclosing my disability because my disability affects the job that I'm gonna do. Again, I don't know what what it takes to become a pilot. However, I do know people have been posting who are also disabled, who I trust, that you have to, like, that maybe were disabled later in life or, like, had some sense of normalcy, but what is normal these days? But, had some sense of normalcy. And, they had, and apparently to be like a pilot or, anything in the air and stuff, whether it's like a big, plane that takes you to Disney World or like one of those little planes, you have to pass like medical checks, you have to pass like all of this stuff. And listen, as a disabled person, sometimes there's other conditions, like, other underlying conditions or like conditions that are not like your main condition, okay? I don't know. I mean, it's tragic. It's horrible. I'm praying for everybody involved, everybody's family. It's just, it's horrible. But, like, instead of, like, all of the, instead of all of, like, oh, thoughts and prayers with the victim, it's like, or the victims, or, the families, it's like, oh, well, was the pilot gay and DEI this and DEI that? I'm like, okay, that doesn't matter. Like, it's what a world we live in. And then, literally, I thought it was a joke, honestly, a joke post that I saw on Facebook, but after I checked a couple sources, it wasn't, and there was a plane crash in Philly, Pennsylvania last night, and it was a medical helicopter carrying a pediatric patient, so a child, so anyone from, like, 1 year, well, baby, to, like, 17, but I think they were younger than that, right? Their mother or their guardian or whatever, and then 4 crew members. I'm like, oh my God. But that I don't think had anything to do with the pilot, because that was literally in the air for 42 seconds, that one. And, that must have been, like, a mechanical issue, because that wasn't the kind of plane that, like, those big planes that take you to, a vacation or whatever, which the big kind of plane was the one that, crashed over DC. Well, not over DC, like, it was in, like, wasn't, like, near the White House or anything, but it was, like, it was in the area, because people were saying, oh, that airport's really congested, and blah, 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 like, Congress people flying in and out of there all the time. That was a big, like, Southwest plane. But the one that crashed yesterday, so what, January 31st? That one was a little helicopter plane, carrying medical patients. And then I was listening to the news, because I try to be an informed person. Like, I really, again, I try not to sound ignorant, and I try to just, like, be informed on what's happening in the world, even if it is a dumpster fire. But they're like, I don't know what happened. Literally, it was in the air for 42 seconds. Because they were like, oh, it took off at 6:07, blah, 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 so, like, whatever the seconds were. And then it was down by, like, 6, whatever, and X amount of seconds or whatever. I'm like, oh my goodness. But just know that I'm praying for everybody involved, and it's what a world, man. What a world. And, I feel for all the pilots out there, because, I mean, imagine having somebody else's life in your hands. Oh, so. Just a reminder that life's too short, but again, like, I guess what I want to say is it's, like, not that it's, like, not disabled people's fault, because it's not, but, like, what I'm saying is you wouldn't get hired for a specific job if, like, you wouldn't fit the qualifications for that job. Alexa, what's the average unemployment rate for disabled people?
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
She is annoying sometimes, but, like, the average unemployment rate for disabled people is way more than 50%, okay? Like, it's like 90. Literally, I know a handful of my friends who are disabled who work, and most of them are either working for themselves as, like, a brand, or they have like their own LLC and they have YouTube channels, or they do podcasts, or they're content creators, or like they have some avenue that they work for themselves, or they're authors or stuff like that. And very few of them, I will tell you, very few of them have like your everyday 9 to 5 office job. Heck, one of my friends, she's a personal trainer. Again, working for yourself, having your own business. A lot of my friends are dance teachers, again, working for yourself, having your own business. I mean, yeah, maybe you work with a studio, but like you're still, again, very few of them have 9 to 5 jobs, because 9 to 5 jobs are not ideal for disabled people unless they're like set up perfectly with accessibility and blah 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 and all that stuff. And unfortunately sometimes that doesn't exist, so sometimes we have to go out and make it for ourselves. I don't know, I just, and this is, I don't know if I repeated it on here, but I said like on Instagram a couple weeks ago at this point, I'm like, wonder what it would be if the world was just a little bit kinder to each other on all fronts, because you don't ever know what somebody else is going through. And again, what if the world was a little bit kinder to a different community, maybe you would learn something, get a new hobby, enjoy something. I don't know. It's heartbreaking the times that we're in right now. But I'm at 1.86 and I have to go to 2 miles, and I want to do it real quick before my watch dies, because then I have Zumba at 12 and it's 11:06 right now, so I gotta get going. But that was just me talking. And again, if anybody can correct me, go ahead, come with kindness, but if you want to educate me, go ahead. Again, in a world where you can be anything, be kind.